It's me, Bree McGee. Welcome to my little corner of the world, and I hope your day is going swimmingly. During today's Breeze, we'll be discussing decluttering, part 1. So grab that drink and snack, there's work to be done. Now, I've mentioned before that I completely decluttered my last property, the property I lived in before I lived here. And it was a very, very long process because I did it alone during a period where I was being diagnosed with a brain disorder. So it took me longer than it would normally take someone to declutter their house, but I did get the whole thing done. Now, I sort of went into that process thinking, oh, this is such a huge task. This is going to take me forever. I don't think I've got what it takes to complete this big task because I had a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of people have a lot of stuff that can range back years and years. And I always looked at it as this massive big job that was too big to deal with. But I started researching how I could make a start on this, and I came up with a few ideas about what would make it easier, and it did help me in order to complete it. One of those was that it was important to start small. You can't eat an entire apple in one bite. You have to take smaller bites, one after the other. And so that's the way I approached my decluttering task. I did a little bit here and there every day. Some days I only managed a few minutes, and some days I managed half an hour. But slowly over time, I saw the progress that I was making, and that gave me the motivation I needed to keep going. Now, it wasn't easy. Anyone who says that decluttering a house is easy, well, I think they potentially aren't being completely truthful, because I can confirm it is not an easy thing to do. There's so much you have to put into place. What are you going to do with the stuff you don't want? Well, you can throw it away, you can donate it, you can recycle it, you can pass it on to a needy cause or onto someone who would like to take that thing off your hands. So you have to categorize your stuff as what you want to do with it as you declutter the items that you want to get rid of. But there's also a lot of decision making to be done. Everything you pick up, you have to make a decision as to whether you want to keep it or not. And that gets so tiring, and it can get a little bit emotional when you come across things that have sentimental attachments with them. So the decision making process is very, very emotionally and mentally tiring. And also, logistically, it can be tiring too when you're carrying stuff around. You know, I came across large items I didn't want. You know, I had some rolls of carpet that for some reason I decided to keep, like cut-offs, you know. And moving those around was difficult. So it's a tiring thing as well, physically as well as mentally. But you have to figure out what are you going to do with all this stuff that you're getting rid of. Some people take things to what's known here as a tip, and I don't know, I think the rules regarding taking stuff to tips has recently changed, so I don't know about that because I haven't been to a tip in a long time. But once you've worked that out, and once you've allowed yourself the time to be very, very tired, and once you've realised that this is a thing that's going to take quite a long time, that you're only going to be able to do it bit by bit, you can get your head around it, and I did. If you've got lots of family members and friends who are willing to help you, it won't take you as long as it took me, because all in all, it took me around 2 years to declutter my house. But as I say, I was ill at the time, I was sick, I was going through a process of trying to get a diagnosis for my health condition, as well as working. I was working full time, and I also had some real problems with physical mobility and things like that. So it was a hard job for me. which I tried to do bit by bit, and it did take me 2 years. And so it is a slow process, but I can attest to the fact that it's well worth the effort, and it is an effort, it really is. And I can remember the day when I sent a message to my son, and it simply said, "My house is completely decluttered. I've finished decluttering everything." And I felt so happy at that point. And he sent a message back congratulating me, obviously. But at that point, I'd gotten rid of about 50% of my stuff. And I went on to get rid of about another 30+%. But at that point, when I'd got rid of half of it, I really considered that I'd decluttered my house and it looked a whole lot better. And it felt good. It felt so good. But that was what got me going into that process in the first place. I was just tired of living in a cluttered environment. And I saw this project as being a massive, big issue that I wasn't sure how to approach. And I did have to do a bit of research, but I got there in the end. Now, this is part 1, and next week I will upload part 2 of this decluttering mini-series, let's say, where I'll go into more detail there. But I managed to get it done, and let me tell you, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I was lumbered with a lot of problems when I was going through the process, so if I could get through it, so can you. I have all my faith in you if that's what you want to do. Some people are happy living in houses full of stuff, and that's completely fine. It's just that I wasn't happy with the way my house looked. And in the next video, I'll tell you about what was my motivation to get started in the first place, and a few other pointers. So anyway, I've got things to do. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And from my corner of the world to yours, cheerio and mind how you go.